A memorial ceremony today marking the 19th anniversary of the Queen Isabella Causeway collapse. In the dark of night, and not knowing what had happened to the bridge just moments before, 8 people died when their cars fell more than 80 feet into the water below. 3 people survived. Channel 5's Rudy Mireles spoke with the father of one survivor.
This bridge connecting Port Isabel to South Padre Island is the start of happy memories for hundreds of thousands of people each year. But on September 15th, 2001, it was a nightmare no one expected.
The sergeant said, Chief, the bridge is out. And I just, first of all, I had to kind of say, well, it's 30 in the morning. What do you mean the bridge is out?
Awake at 3 a.m., then SPI Police Chief Roberto Rodriguez rushed out the door to assess the scene after 4 barges crashed into one of the causeway's support columns, leaving a gap of about 240 feet in the roadway. Gustavo Morales' son, Gustavo Jr., was one of the motorists who couldn't see the gap in the middle of the night. After plunging 85 feet into the Laguna Madre, he expected his son to at least have a broken bone.
Marque los ligamentos y los tendones de la pierna derecha, que quedaron afectados, pero no fue eso lo mayor, sino que el mismo doctor me dijo en el hospital, es un milagro.
Gustavo Jr., usually in attendance, moved to Austin since last year's ceremony. But his father says the miracle he witnessed will bring him back every year.
Yo siempre, cada año, estoy aquí en memoria de él y de todos los jóvenes que tuvieron la desgracia de padecer y de los sobrevivientes también, que tuvieron la oportunidad y la gracia de Dios de poder salir.
Reminiscent of that night, Port Isabel's city manager Jared Hakama was up all night before today's ceremony after a bomb threat directed at the causeway halted traffic.
I felt it was a cruel coincidence. You know, that what we suffered at that time, the loss that we suffered, the burden that we had was something that I will never forget.
On the night of the incident, Hakama had just crossed to get to his home on South Padre Island.
There was a car that looked like mine, but of course, the people that fell in were driving westbound. I was driving eastbound. And my first thought when I got the calls was, well, we had a jailbreak, there was a fire at the courthouse, something like that. And then people said, well, look out your window.
A multi-agency response was in the works, but Rodriguez says initially anybody who was around was trying to help.
People that were out either early fishing or had been out late, they were trying to assist by, you know, at that point, basically try to do a rescue.
Lamenting the lives of the 8 people who died that night, Rodriguez says efforts from civilians, law enforcement, and rescue teams from around the county stopped it from being worse.
The quick response to shutting down that causeway was what saved other lives.
Last night's bomb threat was a major concern to officials on both sides of the causeway, but Hakama added this ceremony was too important to people like Morales to cancel. He says residents and officials from around the county showing up today shows the strength of this community, no matter the type of incident. In Port Isabel, Rudy Mireles, Channel 5 News at 6.
And again, with that bomb threat, no explosives were found on the causeway. The Cameron County Sheriff's Office looking to track down the person who phoned in that bomb threat. If you know anything, call Cameron County Crime Stoppers at 350-5551.